The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Sean.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world.
Good morning. Happy Friday. It's March 17th, 5:30, and we are on time.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. And, I got some adventures ahead of me. I might go mountain climbing.
Mountain climbing?
Yeah.
Okay. Like this weekend, do you have time to get to the mountains and back?
Yeah, well, did you know that the RMWB has their own mountains here, Steph?
I was unaware.
The urban mountains is what I'm talking about.
Oh, the snowbanks.
Oh, big time, big time. In my townhouse complex, there is the most giant urban mountain. So they pile snow into like a corner of our townhouse complex away from it. It's like the end of the parking area. And there's like room to stack a little bit. And then usually they haul the snow away because there's really not that much room.
Yeah, and because people have basements and they don't want it to flood into them.
100%. But I think with the massive dump that we got, that they're just so extremely busy that they're like, okay, we can leave this here for a couple days before we go attend, and just get the basics done before we start hauling away type of thing. And this urban mountain in my townhouse complex is legit over 20 feet high.
What kind of mountain climbing are you going to do? Are you going to do mountain climbing then with a slide at the end? Or do you just want to be up there and say, I'm the king of the world? What's the deal?
Yeah, here's the thing. And so it's about 20 feet high and it's right beside a fence that's about 10 feet high. And then so it's double the fence. And then on the other side of the fence is just a bunch of untouched snow, just deep 7 feet of snow that's just hasn't been touched.
Wow.
And so I think I'm going to climb to the top of the urban mountain and then jump into the untouched snow.
Oof. Sean, do you remember what is underneath the untouched snow from before it started falling last November?
I don't, and I'm a risk taker, and that's just what I'm willing to do to have some fun. This is what dudes do.
Okay, and all the teachers who taught all their students snow safety are screaming right now. Sean, I'm taking a good look at you over there, and I don't see a single bit of green on you.
Are you blind?
Do you have green pants on?
Are you blind?
I don't think so.
Are you blind?
Is that green? It looks black to me.
And the hat that I'm wearing is clearly green.
I guess we need to turn the lights up a little bit in here.
Are you wearing green?
Yes. Are
no,
you blind?
Aren't.
This is a green sweater.
That is black.
This is dark forest green.
Wow. Okay. I see you put a note in here in the things that we talk about. You get to punch me if I'm not wearing green?
I think that's a typo. I get to pinch you.
Wow. I was I'm getting HR involved.
Well, it's this thing they say that that leprechauns love to pinch people, but if you're wearing green, you're invisible to leprechauns.
All right.
And so thankfully, perhaps that's what's going on. Maybe we're both leprechauns and the green was invisible. I don't know.
We'll have to put it up for debate. We can post some pictures and see if we'll let the people decide if it's green or not. Mine's more green than yours.
Absolutely not. This is a green cardigan.
We felt it here. We felt it down in Edmonton, maybe a little around Edmonton as well. So it was widespread again. Even parts of BC, I want to say Dawson Creek kind of felt it as well, just neighboring right there. Did you feel it? Did you personally feel it?
I did not feel it whatsoever.
Yeah, 8:45, 9 o'clock type of thing.
Yeah, I was riding in a car and I didn't notice a shake at all. Nothing made me think, oh my gosh, we're in an earthquake, or oh no, the car is about to explode something.
Earthquakes, cars explode.
Well, if the car is shaking, that might make you nervous that perhaps one of your wheels is going to fall off, or perhaps it's the motor's I'm having one last cough before I die,
Yeah, no car explosions yesterday.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, I did. I exploded. My computer exploded from the shaking.
Oh, no. I went for coffee at a friend's house yesterday who's working really hard to make sure that her kids are bilingual.
Very cool. I like that.
So she's from the Netherlands, and so she only speaks Dutch to her kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they figure, in a couple years, they'll add in English, but at the moment, they have a 4 and 2-year-old, and they only speak Dutch, and the husband only speaks Afrikaans to them, and the kids are fluent in both, but not English.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I like it.
Amazing until you get left in a room with one of them and you don't speak the same language. So yesterday we're having coffee, chatting away. Life is good. Mom goes upstairs to get the other kid who is waking from a nap, and me and the 4-year-old are hanging out, and he keeps saying something to me over and over again, and I was just like, Yeah. And he's looking at me like, you don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what you're saying. But he just kept repeating it. And so Mom comes back downstairs, and I was like, he was saying something like this. And of course, I just made a bunch of sound effects.
Oh, boy.
It was so embarrassing. I'm like, I don't know why I tried this. She's like, that sounded close to something, maybe.
I think where my mind goes was I would have went on Google and how do I say I don't speak Dutch in Dutch? How do I say that so the kid can stop talking to me?
That could have been smart. I didn't want to offend him. I was in his house, a guest. Anyway, moments later, he said the phrase again, and I was like, that's what he was saying the whole time you were gone. And she said, oh, he's making a joke. And I was like, what's he saying? And she said, oh, he dropped a raisin. So he said, excuse me, Mr. Raisin, what are you doing down there? Would you like to come up and be eaten? Raisin's still on the floor, though.
Yeah. Kids, unbelievable.
Got a bit of a PSA for everyone, and it's from personal experience that I speak from very genuinely.
Shout it from the rooftops. What you got for us?
All right, I've been looking at the weather forecast, and the sun is looking like it's going to shine completely for the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
But also, that means that all the snow is going to melt, and the asphalt is going to be very shiny.
Oh, it is, yes. And it's supposed to be clear.
Yes.
And so you're going to get blinded.
Totally. Specifically when you're heading up Beacon Hill, It is like next level. You cannot see. And especially with the sun shining and all of the melt, there's going to be so much dirt on your windshield, and you're going to be using your washer fluid over and over again.
That's right.
That my PSA is to go stock up right now and don't attempt the hill without having enough washer fluid to get you up it.
Or else you have to do the dangerous thing that I have definitely not done, where you just ride the bumper of someone and use the debris coming off them to clean your windshield.
Oh my gosh, that's one tactic.
I haven't done that, though. A friend has, and I told them not to.
You said that's really dangerous.
Go
Please.
buy some fluid.
Okay.
Do what Steph did with her PSA. Buy some fluid. Don't ride the bumper.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for your PSA.
Alberta politics had another viral moment just the other day. I want to say on Wednesday, Steph, but it wasn't anything like majorly bad or anything.
Nobody showed up to a virtual meeting like a cat or anything?
No,
Okay.
It wasn't anyone doing anything wild of that nature. It was someone from the north, though, Peace River region, UCP MLA Dan Williams. He was paying tribute in assembly. This is like the stuff that they air. What is it, like C-SPAN or something?
Yeah.
And this is the stuff that they air, the assembly. And he was paying tribute to the Royal Canadian Legion. So there's a video of this all. And by paying tribute, this is what he did. He had a beer in his hand.
Okay.
So, to everyone, thank you very much for your service. If you're military members,
That's a good crack
thank
right
you
there.
to everyone who's a Legion member. Cheers to you, Mr. Speaker, to the Canadian Legion. God bless.
So he cracked an AGD. Do you know what AGD is? You're not a beer person.
No, I don't know what that is.
Alberta Genuine Draft. It's hilarious. It's like bottom of the barrel, but it's so hilariously bad but good.
So Berta is what you're saying?
Big time. Like, yeah, it's apostrophe B. Berta.
Okay.
That's what it is. And then he proceeded to like kind of chug it in front of everyone
Whoa.
in the house and everything.
Bold
And so
move.
politics are just so weird in that sense, where you can just do something like that, and it's kind of acceptable because the speaker. This is how he responded a little later on.
Okay.
He is a learned and knowledgeable member of this assembly, and the use of such a prop is absolutely unacceptable, and the speaker is displeased. He will take the most aggressive approach in the future directed to that member should he choose to use a prop in this assembly again. I consider that matter dealt with and concluded.
The way that they also speak in politics just kills me. It makes me groan. Like when he is the speaker and he's like, the speaker will take the utmost aggressive form of punishment if you were to do that again. It's like the biggest worded empty threat I've ever heard.
I feel like this beer drinking was kind of like a mic drop. Like he was like, cheers to you, I'm out of here. But he was like, cheers to you, I'm chugging this beer. A little bit of a surprise, I think.
Definitely a surprise. But yeah, politics, lame, a bunch of nerds, but also cool beer. Like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I consider this matter dealt with and concluded, John. Gonna set the stage for you. You go to the movie theater for an experience. you're sitting there watching the movie and say, I don't know, a dinosaur jumps out on the screen. Somebody in the theater gets really scared by it and they scream out loud. Happens maybe 3 more times during the movie.
Okay.
And this person in the theater screams again and again and again. Is it funny every time? Does it add to the atmosphere? Are you like, come on, be quiet?
I think I'm zoned into the film, and I might notice it, but I don't care for it. I don't pay attention to it. I'm just into the film.
Okay.
Because it's so the theater is such an environment where it's so loud and you're encapsulated into the giant screen and the speakers all around you that I think it's easy for me it's easy to just get lost in the moment of the film.
And you might think that perhaps the dinosaur is making that human scream noise.
No, I don't think that. That's a little too far. I know where it's coming from, but I don't care about it.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to
Wow,
ask.
that dinosaur has a weird roar.
Louder. I just want to ask your opinion because I'm the screamer in this situation.
Oh, of course you are. Like, how did I not piece that together? Of course it's you.
I went to see 65 last night, which I'm not going to give you any spoilers. It's so good. You just have to go and see it. But certainly there were some moments where I was scared. And my friend that invited me actually said to me, like, hey, I think I saw in the preview that there might be a jump scare coming up in this scene. Just wanted to warn you. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And so I'm kind of like half covering my eyes.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
making sure not to be taking a drink so that I don't like shove the straw down the back of my throat or something. And I'm just getting ready and I know it's coming, but
Did anyone approach you or anything?
Nobody came up to me afterwards. I think I was anonymous in the dark. Like they might
right.
not have known that it was my recliner that was making that noise.
Okay, not even anyone during the movie was just like, hey, come on.
No.
Come on.
No, but the people in my row were all laughing
Okay.
every time. So I was hoping that the rest of the theater was as well.
Yeah, they all went along with it. Chances are, if you are paying attention to March Madness, the men's college basketball, your bracket is already busted.
Busted. What does that mean?
It means that it kind of means that it's not perfect, but it also means that you had someone who was going far, say like Arizona, who got upset yesterday. They were a 2 seed. They lost to a 15 seed Princeton, all the nerds in the Ivy League. Arizona lost. They were one of the top 5 favorites to win the entire tournament out of 64 teams. They were top 5.
And they lost in their first game?
They lost. They're done. They're out of the tournament. I think both you and I, we filled out brackets yesterday. Me doing all of the over-analyzing, constantly going back and forth. You basing it off. What did you base it off of?
A little bit by mascots, a little bit like, I've seen that word before. I know that it's a place.
See, this is all that it takes. It doesn't matter how you do it, but Arizona lost. And I think we both had them going to like the Final Four.
Oh, no. Well, that sucks.
But the good thing is, like, a lot of people had it. So if you also had it, a lot of people had it, type of thing.
So I'm among a bunch of losers?
Everyone, yeah. Like, not a lot of people predicted the upset since they were like top 5 to go and win it all. In fact, around, I want to say 20 to 50 million people fill out a bracket every year.
Oh, my goodness.
The perfect bracket, there were 16 games yesterday. Amount of people that went 16 for 16 predicted every game correctly, 0.003%, roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so very, very, very few, maybe one person out of the 20 million.
That's right. And after day 1, 16 games, like I said, me overanalyzing you, mascots, colors, names, that type of thing. We're even. We both got 9 right out of 16.
Hey, okay, I feel very good about this. The sports guy and I are tied. That never happened.
We got breakfast on the line as well. So there's 16 more games today, starting at 10, going all the way through 12 hours to like 10, 11 at night. I can't wait.
I can't wait to find out how I did on Monday.
I'll let you know.
I am a cemetery hater. I get really freaked out about it, and I will never walk through one.
Oh, just not the vibes that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, vibes is the thing that they are, right? And that is absolutely not where I want to go pick up a ghost friend.
I think that's very fair.
Thank you.
You're not alone in that thought.
So a few years back, my parents and I were touring the French islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon, and the taxi driver was like, oh, you could take a walk through the cemetery because we're such small islands. We bury our people here 6 deep.
How? What is that? Like on top of each other?
I think so.
Not like there's something in between, right?
I don't know. Maybe
Are they all on top?
Sean, I'm going to be honest. I didn't ask too many questions. I walked along the side of the road while my parents kind of had a slow stroll through the cemetery. I was like, you guys are good over there, and I'm great over here. Thank you. But then yesterday I was chatting with my Dutch friend, and she was talking about how they do cemeteries in the Netherlands. Very morbid topic. But she was saying that you only get a grave for 25 years there.
Oh, interesting.
So you have to buy it, but it's actually renting it.
Yeah.
And then because they're such a small country with such small amounts of land, after 25 years, somebody else gets to inhabit the grave.
Damn, that's so different.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, they bury people 6 deep on this other place. And she's like, yeah, we also bury them multiples deep, but we just don't have the space for...
It's just so interesting how, because now that I think about it, like Netherlands, they're right on the water. Water runs pretty much all throughout the entire country. You have to think like, yeah, that's how they would have to do things. And the way Europe is just structured too as well. There's not a lot of like open space. It's like buildings and it's not like North America where it's just like wide open.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to her. I was like, well, lucky you immigrated to Canada. I bet you we will let you keep your grave for all of time.
Yeah, morbid is right. It seems like the year 2023 might be the year of AI, Steph. A lot of things are just advancing wildly and quickly here.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I only heard about Chat GPT like maybe a month ago, and now it's coming up almost every day.
Yeah, and they're developing like new versions of it, the way that you can use it. And at first, like you see something like this, and it's like scary, and it's like change. Oh my god, and like my job gonna get replaced by it. It can do a lot of the things I can do, but then there's like the other way of how you like shift your focus and like, okay, it can kind of do what I can do, but how can I apply that to myself and then better it? Because I'm better than that.
Because I'm still human and I still have a brain and it still just has whatever's on the internet. So yeah, we can kind of marry those things together to make
your job easier and also like free up your time to maybe tackle something else.
Yeah, be more creative.
100%. And a new version is coming out. I just saw this the other day. Chat GPT 4, I think is what it was called, version 4. And these are some of the things that we were just discussing a little earlier that you can apply it to. So it can accelerate your rate of learning. So instead of, say, something comes through, I'll just use council, for example. Council has 100 pages plus of their agenda. If you don't want to read through, say, a certain topic, it has about like 20 pages to it. You can take a certain part of that council, copy and paste it, throw it into there, and she's like, can you explain these 20 pages in simple terms like I'm 11 years old? Boom, within seconds, it'll explain it. That just saved you 40 minutes of reading 30 pages trying to decide like what are they trying to discuss here.
Totally. And a whole lot of like dictionary.com searches as well, probably.
Big words, all the complicated lawyer speak that they're using. And so it can accelerate your rate of learning. Just that simple of like, can you explain this to me like I'm 11 and make me understand it better? Boom, that's done. Another thing, you can kind of use it as a consultant in a little bit of a way. And so the prompt that they have here is, I'm going to provide you with an argument or opinion of mine. I want you to criticize me as if you were, and then they use Steve Jobs here.
Interesting.
And so like you can get somewhat of a consultation, and then you can take that with a grain of salt and just get a different opinion.
Totally. I mean, that would be even good probably for lawyers when you're kind of cross-examining somebody and trying to figure out what might be the take. What have I missed here? You could type that in and the robot would be like, here's the glaringly obvious thing I found. Whoa, it's been staring at me right in the face. Thanks.
No kidding. And then another thing, the final thing, or two things I'll bring up here. It can describe like images for you. So if you don't understand a meme, you're like, what is this meme about? Or what is happening in this picture? You just send a picture to this new version of Chat GPT and it will break down like, this is the President of America and that's the Prime Minister of Canada. And this picture's from this place and they are doing this. And you're like, oh, that's what's happening here.
Wow.
Or the meme that they are explaining is the chicken nuggets that make up like all the continents around the world, and they just threw that into Chat GPT. Like, what is this a picture of? It's like chicken nuggets that represent like the world. And it just understands memes and stuff too. And then finally, the last thing that I found interesting was the new version can create a website / all the code for it from a picture of an idea that you write down on a piece of paper. So the example they gave was someone was like, he wrote down the title of the website like funny jokes. And then he wrote like number 1, and then he wrote brackets. This is where the setup line for the joke goes. And then number 2, this is where the answer for the joke goes. And then he wrote underneath that, press a button to regenerate a new joke. Took a picture of that, and then he sent it to Chat GPT and said, can you code a website with this in mind? This is what I want my website to look like and be about. Boom. Sent it
Jeepers.
out. Like, it's
wow.
wild. I'm mind blown by it right now. If you can't tell my excitement over here.
I can tell. I'm interested to see how it gets integrated into all of our jobs, and hopefully we keep them all as we continue to move forward with technology.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.